Welcome Diecast fans, I'm Tom Spanners Watson.
And I'm Frank DeGury Gibbs.
And it's time for your weekly DSPN report. The 2021 Diecast International Race Series is going to be huge. We've already got more entries than the number of spaces available, but don't worry, even if you don't qualify, Transport are being absolutely awesome and they will still race your car in a separate series, so you will get to see it run on the track. Make sure you check out the latest Diecast Racing report that's just released. There's some huge write-ups in there. And for all the latest news, race updates, etc., make sure you head over to redlinederby.com.
In the tips section tonight, there was no racing on 3D Botmaker's track this week, but he did answer one of his most asked questions: what track does he use? He went right back through his history, covered some of the homemade stuff, the DIY, pros and cons of every one of them. It's a really good video, make sure you check it out.
Kicking into drag racing to begin with, Skorpio Love Smith had a monster 30 car tournament. It was huge, one and done format right up until the finals, and then they started to do lane swaps and things. Awesome, go and check that one out.
Then Rust Belt Racing continued on with food fights and their Shorty Showdown. So these are the micro machine races, and these things are just so frantic but so much fun. Rust Belt Racing love running them and I love watching them.
Diecast Draggor continued on with his Bring Your Beast competition, and look at the speed this car in the right lane gets out ahead of the Superbird. Absolutely blitzes it, races down the track and absolutely smokes him. It was an awesome race. I don't think I've seen a car take off that cleanly on his track yet.
WeRaceDiecast have their King of the 621, so this is an ongoing competition. You've got a chance to get in there quite a lot, and some tight racing this time. But check out this Charger here, only just edging out the other car. It's awesome. Now they also did something a bit different. They did monster truck drag racing, and as you'd expect from monster trucks, there was their fair share of carnage. These things are great when they're in the tracks, but you let them loose on the wide track and it's all over.
My Hotwheels Collection had his King of the Garage race, and I just love that Ford Anglia. Such a classic casting and really hard to find. Very, very rare in New Zealand, but absolutely love it. A lot of fun to watch.
GNR Vintage Diecast had a wicked competition with their Redlines, the 69s and 70s. So these was Chargers and Camaros only. And man, there were some awesome races, but like NZ Racing, what are they doing racing with their hood up? I know you're only going in a straight line, but how are you going to see anything?
Diecast RacerX is back into his drag racing as well, and man, his course is fast, and look how close those times are. Awesome action. And I love that he does a slow motion replay, so you see it at full speed, then you get a nice slow-mo replay so you can actually see what happened with the cars as they blaze down the track.
And then finally, Main Street Races had their VW car showcase. So this was only VWs, and these are beautiful looking cars. I do love the shape of the VWs. Just a lot of good racing there.
Jumping into the tournaments, we're going to start with RTR Diecast Racing League and their truck tournament finals. So there was just an epic battle here between Chad Hall and Todd Owen. It was absolutely brilliant. This particular race was crazy. The dude's right out in front and blows it in that last corner. The race was his, the series was his, and he just let it go. Definitely want to check that out.
Now the Amigos Diecast Racing and their new track, the Crazy Campground Raceway, is awesome. I'm just loving this track. It's fast, there's lots of twists and turns, and of course they've got that crazy crossover section to get to the finish. And look at that car. It was way out in front. You see it here again. Boom, just gets absolutely nailed.
Now, Top Driver, we featured these guys in Track Spy the other week, and loving their track as well. It is just beautifully put together, some fast races and some really close races here. See these two at the front absolutely battling it out all the way to the finish. Just really fun to see.
Sub 4 RA has kicked off his monster truck tournament. There's like 113 or 116 trucks, and they were qualifying on the paperclip, and you can see it was not easy. It looks like a simple track, but it's really not. Guys were having trouble with the first turn and the second turn, but They didn't all fail. There were trucks that actually knew what they were doing and managed to just blaze on down the whole way. Keep an eye out for that tournament. It's a monster.
Now, Transport Diecast Racing continued on with the Miatas at the crest. So these are all custom modified cars. And I just love this race here. The car in the outside lane should have been in behind, but he just smoked the competition here, got out in front and didn't look back. It was just an absolutely brilliant race. And whoever built that car did a very good job. It handled absolutely superbly.
Now, Meal Ticket Raceway, I was really looking forward to this one. I mean, they got the Bandit in there and that Ford F-150 Lightning. Now, those Lightnings have been blazing fast on the Canyon track, so I was hoping for really big things on this track. But unfortunately, it just got left in the dust. But the Bandit was out in front there for a bit, but the two trucks absolutely just stormed away with it towards the end. It was just awesome. Really enjoying this new layout of their huge monster track. It's a lot of fun.
Now, Cleveland City Diecast had their viewer participation tournament. I really like this race here. See this red and white car out in front? It comes around and then just boom, nails into the inside of the track and flips around, comes down and then just gets past right on the finish line. It was so close.
Now, Wallside did something a bit different. They're doing their Attic A track. So this was a prototype. And you see there the Porsche busting over the side of the track and getting beaten out by a donut. I mean, you got to say, it wouldn't be very often a Porsche gets beaten by a donut car. Interested to see where he goes with this track and what he's going to do with the tournament ongoing.
Then we move over to War on I-4 with his Sunday Funday Muscle Car Live tournament. So this was quite different for him. It was all live racing, so this is full speed, no holding back. Great to watch. If you enjoy live diecast racing, check it out.
Now, speaking of live diecast racing, it's not strictly live, but it is real-time racing over at Hotwheels Calgary. So they do a daily race series. This is just best of 3, and this was a Charger and a Honda Odyssey. And I've got to say, there wouldn't be many times you'd see a Honda Odyssey drag off a Charger.
No, definitely not, mate. Now, Hawkeye Hauler Diecast has just moved into new premises, and he was just running this new test track here, and this car on the inside here just gets thrown completely off track and slides across the table. I don't know what was going on there.
Moving into the street racing, we're going to kick off with the Outlaws. So that just launched last night, and this race here was so close. It was absolutely epic. And Nancy Wilson beautifully over the jump, comes down, tries to catch Grinder in his final straight. Grinder getting all kinds of loose, and then Nancy unfortunately pushed him across the line. But have a look at the other races from last night. It's a lot of fun.
Hot Car Track has just started up his Hot Rods Valley of Speed. So this is a new series, 4 cars racing at a time, and there are plenty of races going on. That one there, the dude just gets punted over the line. And this one, Redline Salvage Inc., with a beautiful overtake, but then the other truck just gets a assist there, gets over the line ahead of him.
Now, DRC Racing, this was the final race of the yard race track. This track is no more. So they raced it in the rain. So there is actually a huge pool of water over the finish line you see here when the 2 cars land in it. Sorry to see it go, but he's got some exciting things coming up. Keep an eye out for his track.
Sonora Diecast Racing had their single curve races, and as always, just lots of carnage and lots of action on their track. You see this V-dub, which you would not expect to get ahead of these cars, handles the curve beautifully there. Very nice line, comes out tight. Then there's just this epic battle going on behind him between the circle trucker and the other car there, just battling down all the way to the finish line.
Then finally in street racing, we've got Diablo Ridge. So he's been quiet for a while, but it's nice to see him back out again. This time doing a Ford versus Ferrari race on a different track to what we've seen before. Welcome back, mate. It's good to have you. We look forward to seeing some more racing.
Now, into special events, we had the stage 1 of the new Diecast Rally 2020 on the Rocky Road course. Now, this is a straight course, but caused all sorts of problems, and this was the worst crash we've had at the Canyon. Lord Brain there getting thrown off the side of the track and just completely wrecking his car. It was a total write-off, but there was all sorts of action on this track. This one here in particular, see this flip right over the finish line for a straight track. It provided all sorts of entertainment and excitement there. Dax Quaid going for stunt of the week, but he didn't get it.
Now this was a track that we highlighted last week in Track Spy. So this one is obviously very, very heavily inspired by 3D's track, and he was running a convertible only tournament. Just an insane amount of carnage in this race. This first car goes over and 2 other guys slam into him, and then the other car stalls out in behind.
Now, Big Poppy had event 9 in the Diecast games. There's only one after this one, and this was the mile track. So this was 85 feet of track. It is a monster track. Not every car made it, but a lot of fun to watch. Have a look at that one.
And then finally, Simpson Diecast Racing did a monster truck jump here, and it was so much fun to watch. You just loved these monster cars. Frank's Garage this week, it's EVOSparks, so we've featured him a couple of times and it's always been larger scale stuff, but this time he was doing a review of the 164 Diecast street set, and this was really cool. I was really impressed with how nice this is. It's a mat that you can roll up, sit down anywhere, and the road looks really good. It's based on road markings from Singapore, but check that one out.
Now on Track Spy tonight, Commotion Diecast is a new track that's just launched, and the theming on this track has been really well done. So Death Mountain Speedway, nice fast track, nice and clean, nice little loop there and down to the finish line. Have a look at Commotion Diecast, the link will be in the description. And Brunhilde Hills Race Complex is back up and running. So there's been a couple of minor changes to the track, but it's really nice to see these guys racing again, and just some good action on a small track. That green car was well out in front, but flips coming through the tunnel section here, which you see with the camera inside with all the night lights and glow in the dark stuff. It's just a lot of fun. Welcome back.
And finally tonight, Crash of the Week, or Stunt of the Week, goes to Lightning Jim Leichenring in the Skyline here for this epic double rollover without touching his roof on the ground at all. Look at that, just beautiful.
Just a shame for him that he finished up so close to the finish line but not crossing. That's enough for yet another week. Thank you very much for watching. Now remember, we'll be wrapping up with our last report on the 18th of December, and we'll be taking a break through that Christmas New Year period, coming back in January with more racing, more reports, and just a bigger year altogether. Looking forward to having you there. And remember, there is still time to get into the DIRS 2021, but it is running out very quick. Head over to chaoscanyon.online for all the details, request your car number, and get in for the qualifying. That is it for this week. I'm Tom Spanners Watson. He's Frank the Guru Gibbs. We'll see you next time.